Okay. I'm going to give the October Executive Director Report. This month I'll be talking to you about the STEM bus, the FLL competition that was held on November 2nd. More about the JMS Transformation. I've modified this heading CSA website and social media. I added the social media part. And then I added another area down here called fundraising that we'll talk a little bit more about. As far as JMS Transformation, accountability boards are going pretty well. Bill was able to get some the little accountability stickers that they use at 3M on their boards, and it's kind of formalized things. It's made things a lot clearer as far as what we're doing with our boards. I see our completed areas really are adding up, and it's really kind of interesting to look at and see, the amount of things that are being done, and also who's getting those done. If you give a little shout out to Heather. Heather's probably has the biggest collection of completed items of anybody in our group. So as far as the design and marketing and the Shark Tank Collective, that one is going, I believe. We've had 4 or 5 meetings, I can't remember which, but of those, nobody has really missed a meeting. They're at 6:45 in the morning, so that says something. We have quite a bit of things that have been completed that we've done. It's kind of, I think the teachers appreciate it. They've talked about how much it's kept things going efficiently in their classes. And as far as Cassidy, let's say Cassidy Uri's, when she was at the very beginning of this whole process, she was probably one of the people that was really, I think she was kind of lost, and she has really stepped up and brought some things to the table that I think will really transform the entire school. Just a simple thing like a scope and sequence process that she put together is going to really transform what the whole entire staff will do. So, and I think that all kind of stems directly from that accountability board. Another thing that's stemmed from the accountability board, at least with the STEM exec advisory, is the makerspace and the media center. That's been tough to get going, but I believe we're very close to getting a person to actually run that makerspace, that small makerspace that we're gonna pilot. I think we're gonna be able to bring Julie Nichols on board pretty quickly, and she's very eager to come over and be a part of what's going on at Jeff. So we'll be purchasing that 3D printer that I talked to you about last month and putting that in that space, and I think that we'll see a lot of really good things that come out of that. I want to give a little shout out to Lyria, because what she's done with her kids at the university, transforming what Jeff might look like, has really made some people think, as far as within Jeff Middle at least, about how that building could look and what it should look like. And I'm excited to say that we're gonna take her class's work and take that to Randy Gooch before our meeting. Bill and I will have spoken to Randy Gooch about that, and we want to get that out there so that her kids can at least present it to some heavy hitters within the district, and then so they can get some feedback too, but also to maybe see if that some of those ideas that she's worked so hard on could be implemented in this transformation process. So a lot of really good stuff. I'll bring some copies of the PDF, her presentation. I know she'll probably do the same, but I'll bring some of those so we can take a look at them. But impressive work. The Lego League, I really have a lot to talk about other than the contest was November 2nd. Bill went and set up a table and handed out some flyers and talked to some folks. So Bill will be able to share kind of what happened at that event. And I know that the numbers were down this year, but I think it's always kind of a cool event. Kate puts a lot of time in. Kate McKenzie puts a lot of time in for this event, and she does a really good job there. Most of my work this month has been in the area of website and social media. I think I've spent most of my time in the last couple of weeks just working on just getting my head wrapped around social media. But the website, I've kind of paid some special attention to the events section of our webpage. So if you get a chance, I'd like to talk to you more about it. But I've put some things in there, and I've kind of changed the at least my thinking on the event site. I'm putting stuff on there now that is things that are happening within the STEM Alliance that at least our board needs to know. So this is more directed towards you as a group. So for instance, I put on there for Wednesdays my 6:45 meeting that I meet with the accountability team, the design and manufacturing accountability team. So things that if you wanted to attend one of our meetings, when that time, when we meet, and just things that are kind of based on kind of directed more to you as a group. But then again, I'll put out things that are happening that I see in the community that I feel like needs to be posted. But right now, I think most of our viewers, you guys, are the viewers of our website. I spent a lot of time on our Como STEM, our Twitter site. It started with 30 followers at the beginning of last week. I've tripled that, but it's 92 followers. But we're following about 467, mostly CPS educators. And I'm seeing that jump, that our followers are jumping because of the stuff that I'm putting up there. I'm putting up pictures or putting up, maybe I'm reposting something that that somebody else has put on Twitter. But that's starting to grow. CPS Steam Bus, we're at 849 followers, and that's primarily due to Charles working on the bus last year. Most of those are CPS educators, but some of them are other organizations that have their own buses or whatever. We're following about 600 teachers in the district, but I feel kind of it can get overwhelming, as just and this is just Twitter. I haven't even scratched the surface of Facebook and Instagram and so forth. I've got that. That's on my plan, but what I would like to do is I'm going to make a formal ask of the group. I know we've talked about getting someone to come in and actually do our social media, work with our social media account, and maybe look at some university students, whatever. I kind of like I like having I like knowing what's going on with the site, and I like being able to interact with it. I'm not as strong as other people in our group, Heather and Lyria. I know you guys are past masters of this, but I feel like I want to know things like the types of software that I can use, the different design elements. This list that is below that from November to June, that's a list that I worked on with Sunitha to kind of put together of things that I felt like I needed to know. Best practices, just well, February is. We talked about some of my photos, and she said, she was very kind about it, but it photography best practices. I think she was trying to tell me that my photos suck, but I feel really good about working with her, and I've kind of put together an ask of I'd like to have the group pay for $125 a month, just somebody to be my Twitter coach, and we would meet bi-weekly, about an hour and a half. We'd talk about different things. It's listed right there. Those are kind of I made a hit list of things that I felt like I needed to know, and we put them in order. I think I need somebody like that I would like to have that information. I need somebody that feels comfortable with it. But I also know that she's running a business, so this is something that I'd like for the group to pay. I mean, for the STEM Alliance to pay for. But honestly, guys, I feel like I met with her a couple of times. I really I like Sunitha. I think she's very good at what she's doing. She made a comment about her own site that I want to share with you at the meeting. But this is something that I feel like if our group decides, you know what, we don't feel like this is what we're gonna do. I just want you guys to know I'm gonna go ahead and do this personally. If the STEM Alliance does not, you guys don't feel that it's worth our time. I feel like this is something that I need to know. The marketing side, the analytics piece, that's the part that really interests me. So this is an area that I would like to go. So I'm going to make a formal ask of this, but realize that I understand if our group wants to go in another direction, I'm still going to probably go in this direction because I feel like it's important for our group. So as far as fundraising goes, I added this slide because I've been really thinking about ways that we can make some improve our fundraising and improve our we haven't really brought much money in the last couple of months, but some things that I know that have worked in the past. I know we did the Emory SAP golf tournament. John, you and I, and John Firking, John Conway, we did the Emory SAP golf tournament last year, and I have a friend that Thaddeus Hamilton has put on several of those golf tournaments, and I spoke with him about possibly helping us put together something like that. And Thaddeus is a retired teacher. He's a golf coach at Battle High School, and he's done several of these tournaments before, and he's interested in helping us. So what I wanted to do, both Johns, is talk to you guys as golfers, if to see if you would be interested in possibly working with my friend Thaddeus to put together this golf tournament. And I'd like to shoot for a June golf tournament just to see, just something that we could get started, to get our name out there, to play some golf and possibly get some donations for a silent auction, etc. Maybe even, John, you talked about doing a shrimp boil kind of thing with it. I think we should probably just move in that direction and maybe plan something like this. So if you two are interested in working with my friend Thaddeus, John Conway, I think you might know him, but I think you both would enjoy working with him, and we'll talk more at the meeting, but I wanted you to be aware that I'm going to be approaching you on that. And then Leslie and Patty, I know that I know Leslie, I know you have experience with grant writing, and I wanted to see if you guys would maybe possibly work with me on looking at some of these grants. I've got 2 grants listed there. One is just a collection of 7 nonprofit STEM grants, and the other one is a pretty comprehensive list of STEM grants for K through 12 nonprofits. But I wanted to know if maybe you two would take so we could maybe develop this into like projects. The golf tournament would be one project. The STEM grants would be another project that maybe you guys could help me with to flesh these out and to do some research on which grants we might go after. And anyway, I wanted to talk to you two about that and see if that would be something that you would want to take on as maybe a focus or a project with our group. So I'm kind of throwing that out there for you. For Leary, I know Leary's got the project that she's working with Jeff, and Heather is Heather and Christine are teachers, and they're having boots on the ground. I think is a project in and of itself. So maybe this is something that you guys could help us with, or at least help me with. I'll see you Thursday. I want to close out though and show you a little bit of the site, and throw this out to the group and see if maybe Dave Nichols, you and I couldn't maybe look at, I know I've talked a lot about this, about becoming a member of the Columbia STEM Alliance, and really honest, that's kind of the reason I want to put so much effort into the social media. But Dave, maybe you and I could get together and talk about what you, possibly me, maybe Bill, could get together and talk about what does it mean to be a member of our organization, and what levels we could have, and maybe flesh this page out a little bit more. I know I've showed this to you before, but I think that might be something that I've looked into our Continue to Give site, and it has everything that we need to really run a membership campaign and be able to mechanize that. So if Dave, you and Bill would be interested in working with me on kind of fleshing out what that might look like, that's something I'd like to pursue as well. So in the area of fundraising. So I don't have a lot more. I'll see you guys on Thursday, and have a good couple of days. See you then.